I'm going to teach you something that is going to change your game forever in the most positive way. It's really easy to do. You'll probably wonder why you didn't pick up on it yourself and do it sooner, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to teach it to you. It's going to impact every area of your game. In 1994, I started running a game for a local actor where I live. And that local actor was about to teach me something that I didn't realize. You know, I understand that a lot of people do certain things by accident, or it's not intended, they just do it. But he was going to teach it to me so I could understand it and apply it all the time. And it's minor, but not simple. Minor in a way that affects everything in the most positive way when it comes to tabletop role-playing games, from social interaction to just walking around a dungeon or dealing with combat. Now, let's start with this. When you describe an area or something players are coming into with their characters, never over-describe. The more you try to set up a scene, like the longer you take to say what you're saying, you go over a point where players are going to try to imagine what you're saying, and you're planting seeds. They're going to use their imagination, fill in gaps, do all that, but it gets to a certain point that if you keep talking, they'll keep trying to align their thinking with what you're saying, but it starts to scramble their imagination. It gets confusing, and the impact that you're looking for goes away. So when you take characters into any situation, basic need-to-know details are the first thing you should mention to the players. Whatever they basically need to know, you tell them. You give them the basics of a scene. That's it. As a game master, we use manipulation, not in a negative sense. It's what storytellers do. It's what people that make movies and TV shows do. Manipulation is just using information to get your mind into a certain place. If I give you a lot of information, well, that might tell you what's in the scene. Exactly. If I only give you so much, well, you have to understand human behavior. You will try to fill in the gaps, and you will make assumptions about what's going on in the scene. And trust me, if I don't give you too much, and I ask you what you think, it's going to probably blow my mind what you think compared to what I actually know. Meaning, minor details, minor words to set up atmosphere is all you need. It's all you need. And minor statements can be very, very important. You don't have to say something is scary. You don't have to try to force an atmosphere into a scene. But it's not just setting up the scene. I am talking about atmosphere. That's the important detail here. All scenes are generic until you apply atmosphere. That's how people feel something. That's how they feel something. That's how it changes a mood. So, you could tell players with their characters are walking out of the building, right? You could tell them some minor things. The sky is gray. There's a damp shower of rain. It trickles, barely falling on you, but you feel them. The ground looks a little wet, and you can smell that damp smell. Stop there. That's atmosphere. They will start to feel the scene. You know, if you put players with their characters in all kinds of different scenes, but you set no atmosphere, they'll talk the same with their characters in every scene. There'll be no change in how they speak. When you start setting atmosphere, it creates a mood. It alters thinking. So even how they do social interaction will change. How the player is thinking will change. It's minor bits of information do a lot of work in the area of manipulation. Now, I'm not using that word in a negative sense. As game masters, we use information. We hold back, we give out some, That is manipulating the mind. And you are playing with a player's imagination when you're doing this. Give the most basic details of a room. But say there's a musty smell. They can notice a little bit of dust on things. Right? There's a little bit of dust on things. And there's an eerie silence. There's a silence going on. But you're not going to say it's scary or spooky. It's just quiet. A bit of a musty smell and some dust. And you leave it there. You got the details about the room, and then you add that. Minor things that people can understand and relate with. That's all you're doing. And they're going to relate with it. They're going to pick up that information right quick. And it will change their mood, their thinking. It's powerful. Social interaction will adjust every time you're doing this atmosphere approach. Minor words, just a little bit. Oh, you don't think it's powerful? Let me give you an example. For years, I played a game called Rust on Steam. A game. And it always had things like rain in it. And people would always say, like, I like getting out with the rain going down. And even the way they would run around the map would be different. Their mindset would be different. For a short period of time, the people making the game took rain out of the game. Thinking it didn't matter. Why does it matter? It's the same game. Yet it affected people's thinking. They complained about it. The game felt uncomfortable and shallow. There was an emptiness to it. There was something missing. And they made such a big issue about the rain removal that the people put the rain back in to the game. And once they understood that this change in feel and through the atmosphere of the game, minor change. It's not even a game that is meant to focus on rain. It's a shooting game. Shoot each other, player versus player. But this was a major thing. They went on to put snow into the game and all kinds of other little elements that are atmosphere elements, right? And when you do this throughout a game, in a fight, coming onto a fight scene, people are traveling down the road. You tell them minor things like, it's one thing to tell them what's going on, but then to say, it's a little later at night, so it's a little dim. It's not as bright as it was earlier. There's a bit of a breeze, and it's cool. That little bit of breeze hits your skin, maybe your face, and you can feel a slight chill. Well, that sets a mood. That's an atmosphere. You don't have to say much. That's going to go into a fight. They're going to be thinking this way. Everything can become creepier, scarier, without you needing to say it's creepier, it's scarier. It's like back in the room where I'm saying, you say it's quiet. You can add words, like there's an eerie quietness. So people sort of get the idea that it's really quiet. Right? There's a weird silence where they can't hear nothing. No echo, no nothing. Now imagine, during that silence, off in the distance, they hear what could be like a rock thrown, like a pebble, or a little creak. What is that? What's going on? What are they hearing? It's all manipulation and sets a mood and gets them thinking. And it could be a nothing. It could be nothing. It could be to get them going. You know how creeped out I've had players go into a cabin? They're getting out of a storm. It's all windy. They sit in the cabin, and I'm like, I've done the atmosphere thing, so they're in their mood thing. And I tell them, after a bit of sitting in the cabin, suddenly they start noticing a little, almost like knock at the wall. Like, boom, 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 boom. And they're honestly creeped out. Weird weather? Who would be outside in the storm and the rain? Knocking at the back wall. What's going on? So they react to it. They're on edge about what it could be. Now they go outside. Now, I'm an unpredictable guy, so you never know what's going to be out there for real. I like to be unpredictable this way, on purpose. But they'll go outside and they're freaked out. But all it is a branch from a tree being blown. The wind has changed angle. That's why now the branch, it wasn't knocking at first, but now it's knocking against the wall. The branch is just hitting the wall of the cabin, and they were hearing the knocking. But understand how fun it was to get them on edge to set that atmosphere. Again, the way you view things, the way you'll take something in, the scary, you don't got to say anything is scary. You start creating atmosphere. Atmosphere creates spookiness. Go watch a horror movie. What makes a horror movie really scary, if it works at all? Atmosphere. Atmosphere, the creepiness of the atmosphere. It's one thing to be, you're watching a movie, they're out in the woods at night. The right atmosphere, it's peace. Get a silent, maybe type of different cold atmosphere, and there might be a killer in the woods. And you don't even have to say anything. And it doesn't take much. It really is minor. And you all can do it. It's all common sense. You all know what I'm talking about, but many of you out there never think to do this. That's why you get an empty feeling with fights, an empty feeling with, the scenes of where it comes to the social interaction with the characters. It's super effective, so effective, it's amazing. If you want to bring a scene to life, the world to life, the whole game to life, and give a feel to your players up here in the imagination, from start to finish, you will, but you won't be thanked for it. Oh, they'll appreciate it without realizing they're appreciating it. They won't even notice. They'll just have a better time. There'll be something you're doing. That's right. They won't pinpoint it. They won't exactly know. Trust me on this. They won't know. But here's how you know it impacts it big time. At any point, after a few months of doing this, stop for like one session. They'll walk away saying, man, something's off. There was like no soul to that session. There was an emptiness, a feeling gone. Man, I don't know what happened. And this advice works for any game. See, you can assume people will feel this stuff. You're thinking about Call of Cthulhu. That's weird. Or whatever. But it's not just like that. Just because they're playing a game, it doesn't just instinctively feel that way. Now, people will say, oh, this is spooky, even when they're not really feeling it. Don't depend on what people tell you. Right? What I'm telling you works, and it works in a deeper sense. It's more real. There's nothing fake about it. And it will impact every session you run until the day that you die if you do this all the time. It will impact it in a very positive way. Again, it will change mindset and mood all the time. So, like me in 1994 when I met that actor, I hope you've encountered this video. I hope you get this deep knowledge, simple but deep understanding of playing with the minds of the players in your game. It's manipulation in the positive sense. You're manipulating towards an experience that they actually want to have. That atmosphere thing is what they want. And once you let them feel it, they might never thank you for it, but they'll have a great time with it. You'll feel it and they'll feel it. And you'll notice. Because once you start doing this and you know you're doing it, not just doing it by accident, you'll know. You'll know. And even you'll feel the emptiness in your own session if there's ever a night where you don't do it after that. Okay. I love you. I thought I'd share that wisdom with you because I see a lot of people out there not doing it or accidentally doing it. Or they're long-winded in their speeches and they confuse their players' imagination. Don't do that. Basics, what they need to know, then atmosphere. That's it. You're done. Atmosphere is mind your words. The mind of the player does the rest of the work, and trust that they will. So it's way deeper than you think. Way, way deeper. Good storytellers understand this. The best writers I've ever encountered, like their novels, their stories, they understand this. When it comes to setting up atmosphere, they tell you what you need to know. They set up atmosphere, and they're moving on to the next part of whatever's going on in that scene. Learn to do that for your game. Your players will enjoy it. They'll love it. Even if they don't thank you for it, they'll love it.